The home of rock and roll, I-95, Timothy B. Schmit, Red Dirt Road, from his new album, Leap of Faith. That's some fine fiddle playing, and that's John McPhee from the Doobie Brothers. But in the live show, I just saw the live show, you had Brian Arrowwood from Travis Tritt's band. How did you hook up with him?
Well, actually, I asked John if he was available to do these couple of shows, and he was not. He had Doobie commitments. He wanted to do it. And so I was talking about it to Hank, and Hank is from Louisville, and he has a lot of Nashville connections. And he actually came up with a couple of ideas, and Brian was one, and we went with him. So he just did a radio show with us and 2 gigs. Yeah, he was very good.
He was good. Really enjoyed watching him play. One of the songs that really stands out on the album is All Those Faces, where you share lead vocals with your daughter. This is just a stunningly beautiful blend of vocal harmonies. Can you tell me about the day you recorded that song? How did it feel to sing with your daughter? And is it the first time you've recorded together?
It's not the first time we recorded together. She actually put out a couple of records herself that didn't get a lot of action, but I've worked with her a little bit before. That song, we didn't share lead vocals. She does do all the harmonies though. There's in the choruses, that's all her, and we didn't do it at the same time. But like we talked about before, she was in the studio here, and I was talking to her about what we wanted. We worked out parts together, and then in the middle section, there's a sort of a wall of voices behind this other wall of music, and that's all her too. And we worked out those parts. It was very satisfying to have her do this, because I didn't have her on as a token guest because she's my daughter. She was right for the part, and I knew she would do a great job, and she knows what she's doing. She's a pro. She really knows what she's doing, and she's very good. And it was, I guess, double satisfying, because we kind of looked at each other after we heard the final playback, and we were both kind of thinking the same thing. Wow, this is family. This is blood. I was so kind of proud that she had that same kind of harmonious knack that I've been able to do, and that we had similar quality in our voices. It was really cool. It's very nice.
Sounds natural, a natural blend.
Yeah, it is, definitely.
Yeah. Now, another beautiful song on the CD, that they're all beautiful, but The Islands. And when we talked a few years ago, you had expressed how great it was to record the cover of the Beach Boys' Caroline No, and to then kind of be a Beach Boy and sing background vocals after you got to record the lead for that. So on this album, you have, it's Al Jardine's Sons, I believe?
Yeah, I actually, after I wrote that song, I actually pictured it all in my head, and I said, this sounds so Beach Boy, a little Beatle-y too, but like probably more Beach Boy. And I thought, well, I'm going to call one of the Beach Boys. And I got a hold of Al, and he said he would do it. And then I asked another friend of mine who actually does the front of the house sound for my solo shows, who works with the Beach Boys forever. I said, who else should I get? He says, well, honestly, Al's Sons are like really great. So I got a hold of them, made a time for everybody to get together, made all the arrangements, because I had to fly the boys in. I call them boys. They were in 30s and 40s. And that day, the days that we recorded that, it was 2 days of work. Al was sick, and he couldn't come down here from Big Sur where he lives. So I said, well, we're going to do this anyway. And we just hunkered down and did it. They probably thought they were just going to do some oohs and ahs, but I said, no, we're going to sing the whole thing. This is going to be, and we're looking we're striving for perfection. Obviously, that never happens, but that's what we're striving for. And we worked real hard on it, and it came out really beautifully, and I'm really happy that it did, obviously.
It is amazingly beautiful. Could listen to a whole album like that. The song "What I Should Do." This one really spoke to me, and the part about how happiness is not an absolute, and you need to find what works for you. I'd like to know what inspired that song.
Well, it's become increasingly apparent to me in my life that if I start to sort of stall out and I'm not really doing my work, I can't do my work all the time, although I sort of do because I try and take experiences I have, even a simple one during the day, and sort of put it away for song world. But it's really important to me to keep busy with my work because I do. I sort of speak about this in the song "My Hat" too. It's just sort of like it's sort of basically about mood swings. And if I'm not doing my work, which ultimately makes me pretty happy, even if it's not a great day, I lose a little bit of my happiness edge, and if I let it go too long, I can get pretty down. So that's what it's about. I got to do what I need to be doing for the sake of myself and those around me.
I think we all do, and it does come out if you're not doing what you like.
I'm sure of that. Yes.
Yeah. The song "Slow Down," you've done it again. Another great song about taking time to appreciate life, and it, in a way, it reminds me of downtime in the overall message from Expando. Do you find that you need to remind yourself to slow down and take time out?
Yes.
Yeah.
In a word, or else I'm told that might be a good idea. It's suggested to me by my wife or my family. It's important, because even though I may love my work, which I do, I adore it, and it's been so good to me on the other side too. But even though that's good for me, it's like you really have to take a break. You have to be able to cool it for a while. You just do. Otherwise your work will eventually suffer from it anyway.
Yeah, well, like you say in the song, if your only pace is to win the race, then all you get is old. I love that line.
Oh, thank you.
And the last one I wanted to ask you about is "It's All Right." It's such a sweet, sweet song. I love that it's so simple and straightforward. Did I hear you mention in another interview it's actually an older song that you came across as you were finishing up the album?
Yeah, that's right. I still have this old, I think it's the early '80s ghetto blaster that I've been, that has these great condenser mics in it that I've been putting my song ideas in for years. Now I don't have to wait though. I can throw it into my phone if I have an idea while I'm walking down the street or something. But I sometimes I have it's all documented. All my ideas, it's all numbered and documented on a whole bunch of different cassettes. And sometimes I go back and start looking for the little stars that I put, or a couple of checks that might indicate this might be something. And I came across, I was doing that very process one day, and I came across this song again. I listened to it, and I went, this is really nice. This is like kind of just kind of tops off the album. Do something really simple and basic, and hopefully beautiful. And a good love song is a good love song.
It is beautiful, and I love that it's just acoustic guitar and vocals.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Well, Timothy, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to call. But before we wrap this up, what are your plans for more live shows? Will you be maybe coming to the Connecticut or New York area?
Well, I hope so. We're sort of planning that stuff as we speak. It's not going to be. It'll probably be after the first of the year. Mm-hmm. Because when we decided to have my presence known in the release of the album during the Americana Festival in Nashville, we were really sort of rushing to find venues to keep going. So I decided, why rush this? I can still do press. I can do things like I'm doing right now. I can do this and that to keep it alive, and all kinds of social media stuff. And maybe after the first of the year, we'll have a better choice of venues. So yeah, I'm planning on. I'm not sure about the East Coast yet, but ideally, I'd like to keep doing this, throughout on and off next year. So we'll see.
Well, I hope to see you in this area. We look forward to seeing the show. And since
Thank
it
you.
is...
And thanks for coming out to Nashville. That was really great.
Oh, you're welcome. When I heard that it was announced, and I just had to go out and see it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. And since it is October, your birthday month, I want to wish you a happy birthday.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. And thanks again for calling in, and I'll look forward to seeing you when you're in either Connecticut or New York.
Great. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Take care.
All right, you too. Bye.
Bye.